Howdy once again, it's tubalcain, and this is episode number 28B of my What Is It Mystery Item series, and this is the answer. Be sure and watch 28A if you want to see the question. And the first items that were on there were these, and they're similar, and most people had the correct answer. These are wagon wrenches. Some people even call them lug wrenches for wagons, or lug wrenches, and I guess that's what they are. And in just a moment, I'm going to cut away and show you a little still picture of a wagon that's down the end of my street, and I went into the guy's yard and took some pictures, and the nuts that hold the wheels on a real wagon actually are square nuts, big square nuts, this size, 2.5 inches. And you know, they had to take the wagon wheels off about every day on those long treks and grease them, and those were tapered axles if you had ever seen one. And they had wagon jacks and a bucket of grease on the wagon for that. And the wrench served two purposes, and the other was that it held the I'm not sure if it held the DoubleTree onto the tongue or it held the tongue onto the wagon, one or the other, but you're going to see that most of them are badly worn right in this area where they got pulled by the horses, and that wore. See the neck on this? Now be sure and watch one of my future videos where I intend to do a rust removal video. One of these I'm going to remove the rust by vinegar and the other by electrolysis, so be sure and watch that. And you know, this little wagon here that I got, I paid 10 cents for that at a garage sale, and you know, I guess I'm done with it now. Most everybody had the answer correct for this pliers. It's a specialized pliers with notches in it, and the purpose of it is to apply or loosen hose clamps like this. But even with this type of pliers, these things can go flying on you. I'm sure that you've all had experience with that, and it can be held at right angles as well. And I might have shown this one in another one. This is a little bit more high quality one. These little shoes here will rotate at angles. I know that one just feels a little more secure than this one. Kind of like it won't pop out of there, but I've had little ones fly up and hit me in the face. But a most difficult operation with a regular slip joint pliers. So these are handy, but I don't even believe they make these anymore. But on the antique equipment that I work in, I still run across these. These items that I showed you, and I did use these about 20 years ago, and I'm going to show you how I used them in just a second here. These are actually called caulking irons, and they are used to pound lead wool or oakum into a joint of soil pipe or cast iron pipe before you pour the lead in. And they're curved, and you strike them, of course, with a hammer. Now here's a page out of the 1958 McMaster car catalog, and they had a whole section on them, all different sizes and shapes, and they're called, again, caulking irons. And they cost anywhere from 72 cents up to $2. A thing of the past. Plastic, PVC plastic, has pretty much replaced the cast iron pipe. But let me show you where I used it here real quickly in my own basement, 10 feet from where I'm standing right now. 20 years ago I did some remodeling here, and I had to adapt plastic into cast iron. So I put this cast iron adapter, and it's threaded on the inside, into this bell here of the 4-inch pipe, and I put oakum around there. I loved the smell of oakum when I was a kid at the hardware store. I would sometimes go pull a piece off and carry it in my pocket because I liked that smell so well. But anyway, you can pound the oakum down into the joint before you pour the lead in there, and then I poured lead, and that isn't done much anymore, if at all. Probably a lost art, I suppose. Thank goodness, most plumbers are thinking. Got a little carried away with the explanation there, sorry. Item 4 was kind of a tough one, but yet some people did know what it is, and actually it's in metric. This is from Germany, or probably Europe in general, but this word here, which I can't pronounce, means cross-section, and in this tool in German is called Ampere Lehr, and it's a wire gauge, and it's meant to check the diameter of wires. Now I'm going to show you a still photo of a page, an email that Peter, I believe from Germany, and thank you Peter, sent to me. You can pause your video to read it for a detailed explanation of what the numbers mean in here in regard to the wire sizes. That was an interesting one, and thank you to the man from Canada that sent it to me. And finally, and nobody even ventured a guess on this, and this was sent to me by Phil Ryan out of North Carolina. 2 magnets on here, and look what is stamped on here in 2 places. It says, I had that covered in the other video, lathe travel dial, and it also says that underneath here, lathe travel dial, and there's like a number here and another number here and a date. However, I'm sure it's just a very, very specialized tool for well, it says travel dial, for some kind of measuring operation on a lathe, perhaps to make a certain product. And I doubt we'll ever know exactly what this is, but it looks like it's so very well made, even though it appears to be shop made. So thanks Phil for sending that, and that concludes this video called What Is It 28B. Be sure and watch the other ones. This is tubalcain saying so long for now, and I'll see you in my next video.